Hi there, I'm Jean Freedberg and I'm with HRC Global.
Hi, I'm Levan. I come from Georgia.
And Levan is fighting to make things better for the LGBTQ movement in his country. So welcome.
Thank you.
We're so happy you could be here. You're spending a few days in Washington, D.C. and getting to know us here at HRC as well.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
Levan, so you've been on the front lines of advancing LGBT equality in Georgia through your organization, Equality Movement. And sometimes that visibility has caused a problem for you. And recently you were the subject of a horrible attack while you were at a beach town outside of the capital. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened and what the reaction of the Georgian authorities was?
So what happened was that it was me and my 5 friends who were walking in the boulevard by the seaside. And 2 of them were transgender women who were easily read as trans people. And that got attention of people on the boulevard, and they started shouting homophobic slurs. And it caught attention of even more people. And at some point we were in a situation where we were surrounded by people beating us up, and the police was a couple of meters away from us, and when they started approaching us we thought that they were coming for help, but we were shocked to see that they just came and they were just standing and watching what was happening. After a couple of minutes, suddenly they arrested us. They took us to the police station. They beat us up there, and they were also really aggressive and using really derogatory, homophobic slurs against us. When we reported this to the prosecutor's office afterwards, they seemed that they were really willing to investigate this case. But I haven't seen any updates.
So it's on the basis of that lack of action that you and your colleagues decided to really take this wider and to call on the Georgian government to do certain things. What is it that you would like the Georgian government to do?
So we have called the Georgian government to investigate this case, to create a unit within the police forces working on hate crimes, to establish an independent body that would investigate the misconduct of the police officers, and to create a strategy, a long-term strategy, to tackle the problem of hate crimes.
Well, certainly it seems that addressing this issue of impunity for the police and to find ways of addressing the violence that LGBTQ people in Georgia are facing is a very necessary step. Can you tell us a little bit, does this reflect the reality of life for LGBTQ people in Georgia?
It does, unfortunately. We provide free legal aid for LGBT people, and we hear a lot of cases, similar cases that happen to especially trans women sex workers. Police is usually responsive to their needs and really insensitive, and sometimes they just act really violently. And
do LGBTQ people in Georgia have any legal protections?
In recent years we've had some legal advancements, but the problem is not the legal situation. So for example, if you look at the ILGA Europe map, Georgia is doing pretty well. We have certain laws that protect the rights of LGBT people. But the problem and the main challenge that we face is its enforcement and the implementation of the law right now.
In spite, though, of some of these protections that you've just mentioned, I mean, it seems that it's very hard to be LGBTQ in Georgia. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you face in the country?
Well, most of the people face violence. This is the number one problem for the community. A lot of people are disowned by their families. A lot of people get harassed on the streets. a lot of people get beaten up on the streets. So basically there is a huge homophobia that exists within the society, and people are afraid to come out, people are afraid to reveal themselves and live their lives the way they want to because of this existing violence, this really rampant violence.
But it does seem that there is some good news, right? Which is that there are organizations like yours, Equality Movement, that are organizing. There are people who are being brave and courageous, like you and like your colleagues, who are coming out and wanting to move this country a little bit towards justice and protection for LGBT people. Can you tell us a little bit about the movement in Georgia?
Yes, fortunately we have some really, really amazing activists and organizations that work on LGBT issues. And recently we've seen an increase in the visibility of the community. And so basically what it has meant for the community is that people, like general population, has started to discuss this topic. Whereas like 5 years ago, it was just people didn't even know what the abbreviation stood for. So that is a positive thing that we have reached recently.
One of the things that we here at HRC are doing, as you may know, is mobilizing the organizations here in the United States to raise this issue with the Georgian government and to call and to echo your call, which is to investigate what happened, to bring the perpetrators to justice, and to really establish a longer-term strategy for how to deal with hate crimes. Do you think this international pressure can be effective?
It is very effective. Usually, when we talk with the government, they don't really listen. When international society talks with them, they listen. They have to listen more. So the international visibility of this problem and of this incident, and generally of the problem that we have been discussing, is really, really important.
Well, we hope that we can be of some help to you, not only to you in your own individual case, but that because of this action that you're taking, that something will emerge from it that will help to protect the LGBT community more broadly in Georgia down the road. So thank you for what you're doing. We hope that things get better for you, that you are successful in this work, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for your support.
For more LGBTQ news, subscribe to Daily Equality at youtube.com/Daily Equality.